Hello. Thought it was time to put a face with the person behind this class. I'm Peter Schlosser, and it's okay to address me by just simply Peter. The formality of the professor or doctor is not necessary in this class. I just wanted to go over just a review now that we've pretty much completed our first week, a review of how the course is going to flow. So if you look at the PDF that I provided for you, the GRC 204 online class is divided up and set a little bit differently than what you're used to. So online, how many of you have ever done this and how many of you are comfortable with this? That part I really don't know. And if you've got questions in how to navigate this, feel free to contact me. So some of you have never experienced an online class and some of you have possibly done this. So one of the biggest things that I think you need to be aware of if you've never done it is that the potential pitfalls really revolve for most people around time management. The inability to get into a routine, to continue that routine, and to be successful in that management and navigation of the course. You really should be setting aside about 7 to 12 hours a week. And if you think about it that way, that it's for 4 days or 5 days, whatever you want to put into that. And if you want to have your Fridays off, that's okay. So you just plan to do 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours a day, and you'll be able to keep up. If you're going to do it for 5 or 6, then you can cut that daily time down. But put it into your calendar and always refer back and check off and say, okay, I've done my interactions, I've done my postings, I've done my assignment, I've taken my quiz. And there is a calendar to help you manage that. Another thing to keep in mind that this is an 8-week class, not a 10-week class. So the structure of it evolves over an 8-week period, and that makes it a little more condensed. The other piece is that you're going to have a little bit more interaction with your classmates and professor through this class than you would in a face-to-face class. You are going to have the ability where everyone has a voice, everyone can provide input, everyone can reach out on an equal basis. So no one really can dominate the class in the online environment the way this is structured. So one of the things is that their expectation is that you will contribute, that your voice does matter, and that you're going to be heard and people will respond in a positive way to your questions, to your contributions. So other things that you should expect is get a routine. So develop a routine, develop interactions, develop some friendships even online. Seek out instruction, read the instructions thoroughly, read the assignments thoroughly. When it comes to the quizzes will only be posted for a short time, so it's critical that you go in when the quiz is supposed to be accessed, and in most cases you'll have a 24-hour period, but the quizzes will be accessed and then shut down. So you don't want to be missing those quizzes. For the most part, you'll be able to take the quizzes when and how long you want to within that time frame. The one thing that I do expect is that these are not group quizzes. These are something that you should be taking alone, and it's an assessment of what your understanding is. It's not meant to be a punishment, it's an assessment. So I know what it is that you're struggling with and maybe potentially something we should come back to and visit. Again, 7 to 12 hours per week. Interact with people as a normal class would be. So have conversations, introduce yourself. The final exam will be opened and online in the 8th week. So 8 weeks. That's good, except for it's going to go really fast. You're going to find out that we no more than get started and you're going to start prepping for the final. You might have another class potentially on campus or another class that's online, and you've got slightly different time schedules. And there's a lot of things that are very locked in steps, so there's no time to delay on readings, instruction videos, and assignments. You don't want to procrastinate. You can't jam this class into 1 week. So with some reasonable time management skill, you're not going to have a problem. I wouldn't sweat that. Just be aware that you have to keep up. So at a minimum, what are the goals? Okay. At a minimum, I want to increase your knowledge of management. I want to see where you can grow and be a contributor in management. And then other pieces is explore future opportunities, things that you might have not ever considered. Some of you don't see yourself as managers, but ironically, through the course or through life, you might find out that you are a natural manager and that you actually really enjoy it. But some of us have a misconception of management, so we'll hopefully clarify that a little bit more. So if you build a course into your calendar, you're not going to fall behind. Understand that deadlines are there for a purpose, and it's to keep you accountable, to hold you to the task, and a motivation that as the course progresses that you will continually stay on top of things and not get overwhelmed. But if you do get behind, notify me as soon as possible, submit a plan of how you plan to catch up, and then attempt to rectify the problem as quickly as possible. Don't procrastinate. If you realize that you've missed an assignment or two, you want to jump on that right away and say, okay, this is what's going on. This is what I'm going to do to fix it, but I'm reaching out as quickly as I can. There are a lot of students in this class, so be aware that sometimes an email might fall behind a little bit. I will have some scheduled hours that you can either email and expect a prompt email back. If you're more comfortable with Zoom or Skype or something of that type, I will have some office hours. If you're an on-campus student, I will post some office hours that I'm available by appointment, but I'm not going to, on an online class, I'm not going to plan to be sitting in an office on campus. I actually am working from home. The times that I will be available is Mondays and Thursday mornings, if those are possible for you. So Monday, Thursdays, same time frame, 9 to noon, but do make an appointment. Don't expect to just drop in on my office hours on campus. It doesn't work that way on an online class. Bottom line is I want you to be successful, and I'll try within reason to do what it takes. So even though this is an online class, it is a transcripted course, and all of the rules about academic honesty apply. So plagiarism, academic integrity, make sure that you're paying attention to that. Be sure that you're not cheating yourself as well as cheating on other people. Make sure that you're citing your sources. If you're quoting somebody, make sure that you're aware and quoting them properly. Give people credit for images that you might use. Give people credit for thoughts and creative products that you might use. And bottom line is always acknowledge where that is coming from, if it's other than your own thought, your own original idea. All right, so cheating is defined as obtaining or attempting to obtain or aiding another obtaining credit for the work, any improvement in evaluation or performance by dishonest or deceptive means. So what's acceptable is you're going to be allowed to use your own notes, use books, use online resources. And then further, what you don't want to do is have a friend or classmate take the quiz on your behalf. You can't work together to take these quizzes. So again, work in your own environment in an honest attempt to really assess what it is that you do and don't know. A couple of other things that we want to talk about is in plagiarism. When you're writing a paper, you give credit for the facts, the theories, the direct quotes, acceptable citation style. MLA or APA are both acceptable, right? So use the one that you're most comfortable with, but remember that you're giving people credit for what it is that they have done, their thoughts, their ideas, right? And a ghostwriter is not a good idea. You can't have somebody co-writing your paper, recycle another paper. It should all be original work from this class, specifically for this class. You can cite yourself as a work from another class. So, for example, if you've taken another class that you say, okay, I've done some research and I want to use that paragraph in there, make sure that you're quoting yourself in that, same as you would quote another outside speaker. So one of the things that will help to do this here is plan ahead and don't be rushed and get caught in a position where you're going to compromise your integrity just to pass. Take the course seriously. Make sure that it's as a priority. This is a foundational course, and you're going to find out that there's information in here that you're going to use in other classes. So remember that you want to glean as much out of this as you can, but more importantly, you want to experience this and feel whether this is a route or a channel or a pathway that you might want to take in the future or directly out of college. One other thing that you keep in mind is that the grade isn't the important piece, it's what you take out of it. So if you're sweating one assignment, don't worry too much about that one assignment. Just get caught up and stay ahead with the rest of the assignments. And if you're not real sure of the content and you find out that you don't do so well on a quiz, go back and restudy that content. All right, the PolyLearn environment may be new for some of you, and there's a couple of tutorials online in the PolyLearn environment that talks a little bit about what's going on, how you access things, and some different things that are happening. So there's going to be instructional videos that you're going to be able to access, a forum for discussions, which most of you have participated in. There'll be a grade book. I will do the best I can to keep up with that grade book too as assignments come in. There's going to be an exam and quiz delivery system that you're going to find in there, and then a communication vehicle. So it's all of these things. So get to know PolyLearn, get to be comfortable with PolyLearn if you haven't already. You'll also notice that there's a calendar in PolyLearn, so keep that calendar in mind. It'll show you when things are due. It'll have links to things that you need to do that day or the next day. So again, it's meant to navigate easily, but if you have trouble navigating it, don't be bashful and shy and hold off. Do reach out to me promptly and ask the question and say, I can't find this, or this isn't making sense for me, or it would be better if you would do this. This flow would be better. So I'm going to make some changes to the course as we go to try to cluster things, make them in small chunks, but make them so that you can access them week by week so you're not overwhelmed by everything on one page. So you'll notice that the structure of the course will change a little bit next week. And I hope that doesn't cause confusion. I hope that it only adds clarity. I'm going to cut out, and one of the things that I want you to be thinking about is the next small challenge is going to be, I'm going to ask you to do an introduction, so professional introduction, and look for that clip coming up shortly. And I'll post a quick outline so that you can prepare for that. But we're going to do just a real quick introduction, again, covering what area of expertise that you're studying, what concentration area, and then also some things that you enjoy doing in your spare time, and then possibly just kind of a small fact of maybe something that is kind of unique about you. And I will model that before you have to create that. All right, for now, enjoy your weekend.